In today's breakdown, we're going to take a look at Stefon Diggs' 10 receptions on 16 targets for a 100-yard game against the New York Giants. Diggs led the Bills with a 55.2% team target percentage. He was the entire pass game Sunday night in Orchard Park. Coordinator Ken Dorsey struggled to scheme up anyone else aside from Diggs in the Bills offense, which is why the Bills offense struggled through the air. Going forward, he's going to have to do a much better job of distributing the ball around the offense to other playmakers that they have at the skill positions. And they're not devoid of talent at those skill positions. Because as the season progresses, as you'll see in this film, defenses are going to start to double and triple team Diggs and force Josh Allen and Ken Dorsey to go other places with the ball. So without further ado, let's jump into some of this film. It was pretty clear that the Bills wanted to get Diggs involved early and often. First drive, he had a couple targets. Here's one of them. This is just a read by Josh Allen. It's a run with a pass tag. So if Josh likes the leverage that Diggs has on this speed out, he's going to take it. So Josh does. But as you can see, there is a run call. This is a free access RPO. Diggs is open. He gets 3 yards on the play. All right, on the very next play, the Bills bring in an extra offensive lineman in David Edwards. Dawson Knox to the wide side of the field. They're in line. Josh is under center. Straight drop back from under center, something the Bills do have to mix up with as often as they run the ball from under center and run that play action. But you can see the formation, the personnel, it brings 8 into the box, and that's getting the one-on-ones on the outside for the wide receivers. Unfortunately, Diggs doesn't catch this ball, and it's a really nice throw from Josh Allen. All things considered, when you talk about how little they probably practice these under center drops. But look at the anticipation. Hits the back foot, ball is out. Diggs is not even turned around yet or out of his break, but he drops it right at the sticks. I'm sure Ken Dorsey and the Bills staff wanted to get Diggs the ball early to get Josh in rhythm, to get the offense ahead of the chains, but also because that's really their best matchup, especially when you talk about the defense of the Giants and the man coverage that they play a lot and all the pressures they send. So they probably called some easy plays early to get Diggs the ball. Well, Allen targeted Diggs 12 times in the first half. 78.6% of the targets in the first quarter went to Stefon Diggs. And so on the second play of their second drive, they targeted Diggs and got 18 yards out of it. Diggs is to the bottom of the screen, running that 5-step slant. And I really like this 2-man route combination between Dawson Knox and Diggs. So to the top of the screen, they're running a 3-level passing concept. But the Bills are attacking the weak side of this formation with this 2 high safety look. So there's a lot of green over the middle of the field. Diggs is running that 5-step slant. And Dawson Knox does a good job here of using his eyes and using pace and taking his time in his route as he's getting vertical to catch the eyes of this linebacker. Because Okereke, the other linebacker, is drifting to the trip side. They're playing 4-over-3 over there. So as long as Knox can hold that linebacker, that'll give Diggs the middle of the field right behind him for the 18-yard gain. So good work by Knox and Josh Allen finding Stefon Diggs over the middle. Here it is from the end zone angle. Once again, watch the linebacker and his eyes and how Dawson Knox occupies him just enough so that Diggs can slide in behind him. And it's a good throw from Josh Allen. Good throw right behind the helmet of that linebacker. And the Bills are in business after the 18-yard gain. Unfortunately for the Bills, they fumble it away a few plays later, and that drive is squandered. So on the very first play of the next drive, they put Josh Allen under center, run play action, and hit Diggs on a deep crossing route. One hell of a throw from Josh. But I like how Dorsey brought in the extra offensive lineman, the fullback, and once again, this under center look brings guys into the box and gets you one-on-one coverages. The Giants are in man coverage on this play, and I want you to watch the route from Stefon Diggs. Inside release, then right here, he starts to push vertical. He pushes vertical, kind of leans into the DB a little bit, and then accelerates across the field. That's when that separation is created right there at the top of that little break right there. Very nice work from Diggs. Josh Allen is looking to Hardy initially. There are no defenders dropping deep into this underneath area after the play action fake, and Josh throws a frozen rope to Diggs for a big gain. I like the action in the backfield here from this angle. Watch the play action fake to the left side. And you get the defense thinking that Josh Allen's going to boot out all the way out here. But Edwards seals that edge. It's a really nice pocket. And then Josh just settles right into it. He doesn't continue outside. So now he's got a great pocket. Yes, there's only, 2 or 3 routes down the field, but he's got time to survey it, find his best matchup. You see the separation from Stefon Diggs on Adoree Jackson. And then there's the big throw. I mean, incredible stuff from Josh Allen here. Sets up in the pocket, and then you see the rocket 34 yards essentially in the air there from Josh Allen to Stefon Diggs. 2 plays later, you're going to see an incomplete pass intended for Stefon Diggs, but this is where I think Josh Allen got a little greedy. I really like this play design. I really like it, that crossing route between Shakir and Diggs over the middle, but the Bills are making this look like they're going to run duo. You see Josh point out a defender, and usually when that happens, they're going to run that duo. He's going to insert right here, and Murray's going to get the ball on the duo run. But the Bills are kind of building on that and playing off of that. They're going to run play action on this play. So they have Diggs coming on a crosser, and then Shakir is, again, going to sell like he's going to block, and then he's just going to leak out. And so what the Bills are expecting is that the defense has seen this play several times. They're all going to come downhill, and then they're going to have Diggs on the crossing route behind him. So I do think this play was drawn up to go to Diggs, but Josh has to come off of it right at this point. You have several defenders around Diggs. He needs to come off of that. He needs to hit Shakir right here. So again, maybe that's not where the ball was intended to go, but Josh is essentially reading 2 wide receivers here. This clearing route right here, that's all it is. That's not really going to be a target. That's really like an alert. Okay, if they get a certain look, then they're going to go deep. Josh has to come off of Diggs on this play because Shakir's wide open on this first down play, but instead he holds it, and then the pressure eventually gets into his face, and he throws it into the dirt right at the feet of Stefon Diggs. Here it is from the end zone angle. Once again, they're showing like they're going to run duo right up the middle, right downhill, and you see there's some decent action from this linebacker to pull him up, but Diggs is just not open. As those guys recover and find the crossers, you can see that's taken away. Josh has to come off of that. He needs to stay to Shakir on this side. And you can see the corner to his side, the defender to his side is getting turned around right here and really loses all leverage or targets coming through his area. Josh should be hitting Shakir right now. Ball should be going to Shakir right now. You can't expect Diggs to uncover here. And so he's kind of forcing it to Diggs on this play, and it goes incomplete. You always hear me talk about Ken Dorsey's offense as being efficient. I think there's no denying the fact that the analytics show that he runs an efficient offense. And part of the reason is he knows how to attack coverages. But attacking coverages and giving your quarterback the option to go here versus certain coverage, and it should be open and find that target among the 2 options, isn't always the best scheming. That's not scheming up a play to get someone open. That is just taking what the defense gives you. So, yes, if it's there versus that coverage and Josh throws it to that guy, yeah, it's completed. But sometimes like this next play, that's not going to gain any yards, but it's still considered an efficient play. So over the last 2 years, Dorsey has run an efficient offense, and these are the reasons why. He attacks coverages. If he sees a certain coverage, there's a combination to beat it. If he sees another coverage, he's got a combination to beat it. That's all this is on this play. So the bottom of the screen, they have their single high coverage beater. A stop route by Davis, a seam route by Knox. That's their Haas concept. To the top of the screen, Hardy is running a go route. And then typically Diggs is running an option route. We used to see this with Beasley a bunch, where he gets up the field and then runs an in or out breaking route. But normally with this corner in off coverage like that, he's running that out route. You see it here. So because the Giants are in that too high look, they go to the too high beater to the top of the screen. But Diggs isn't able to separate and turn the corner from that DB, and the Bills aren't able to gain any yards on 2nd and 10. On the last play, you could see that the scheme was pretty vanilla. They're playing this coverage, you're attacking with this combination, and we're expecting Diggs to do something with the ball in his hand. Unfortunately, Diggs couldn't. So it was kind of a dead end for Josh Allen. There were really no outs for that. Read this side of the field, get the ball to him, and move on to the next play. So that's efficient play calling. On this next play, it's not on the scheme. This time it's on Josh Allen. He screws up on this play. Josh Allen shouldn't be targeting Diggs to the top of the screen. It's really just like a screen or extension of the run game, but Bobby Okereke blows it up. In my opinion, given the box numbers right here, this should be a run. So it's a run with a pass tag. So essentially, the Giants have only 5 guys in the box here. Sure, there are some fringe players here, especially Okereke to the top, but the Bills have the numbers to run the ball here, and they run a counter trace. So they have their left guard and left tackle pulling, but Josh pulls it and throws it to Diggs. There's no leverage here. That linebacker, Okereke, is right out there with him. There's no way that Diggs is really going to gain much leverage on that linebacker. Josh should not be throwing it here to Diggs. He should be handing it off. And if they handed it off on this play, the Bills have the numbers in the box to get positive yards, to stay on schedule. This is a mess up from Josh. I believe with the box numbers inside, they should have ran the ball and gotten 4, 5, or maybe even more yards on the play. So after that 1 yard gain on that quasi screen to Diggs, 2nd and 9 situation here, Bills have a trips bunch set to the bottom of the screen. Giants are showing like it's man coverage. The safety Pinnock is over Morris, so it looks like man coverage, and the Bills expect man coverage because they run their mesh concept here. So on the snap, you're having crossing route by Morris, crossing route by Diggs. Sherfield is running the sit route over the middle. Davis is running the out route to the bottom, and Cook is the rail or wheel route up the sideline, usually the first read. So usually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and usually this is kind of like an alert call. If Josh Allen likes to leverage off the bat, he'll throw it to him. The pressure from the Giants gets Josh to drop his eyes, and he has really nowhere to go with the ball. So right here, as the Giants slant these guys inside and bring that linebacker around, generally, you're going to have to throw that ball to Cook. And sure, there are a couple defenders out there, but this play is going to get blown up if you don't get rid of it. Luckily, Josh is able to throw it incomplete towards Diggs. It counts as a target to Diggs, but Josh probably should have just thrown this. The Jags did a great job of doing this last week too, getting that unblocked defender versus the protection, where Josh threw it hot early in the game last week to Murray. It was a really nice tackle by Campbell. Later in the game, the Jags did the same thing on a similar concept. Josh made Josh Allen, the edge rusher, miss, but it still went incomplete to Dawson Knox, and there was a hold on the play. But as you can see, there is nothing here. The Bills are expecting man coverage. They get zone coverage. And Josh probably should have just thrown it out to Cook and see what he could have done with the ball in his hands. So after the game, safety Xavier McKinney told reporters that they had some coverages to try to take Diggs out of the game. They were trying to frustrate him, trying to hit him as often as they could. And they did some really cool things to double and sometimes triple Diggs, thinking that Josh Allen would go somewhere else with the ball. But for whatever reason, Josh didn't, and he still targeted Diggs even when Diggs was doubled or tripled at times. And we see one of those coverages on the next play. It's 3rd and 14. McKinney is to the bottom of the screen, playing the underneath area of Diggs. And then he has Banks over the top as a corner, and Josh is under duress, is under pressure, and tries throwing up a ball to Diggs, and it goes incomplete. Only a 3-man rush. Lawrence is able to get home and break through the interior offensive line to flush Josh out of the pocket. But honestly, I don't know where Josh is supposed to go with the ball here. I can't even tell you what route Diggs is supposed to run on this play, but as you can see, 1, 2, 3 guys essentially bracketing Diggs, and I don't know what route he's supposed to run. They're running a post route by Sherfield. That's taken away from the safety. Now, Gabe Davis to the top of the screen does a great job of separating at the top of that route beyond the sticks, but at that point, Josh is already leaving the pocket, so his route is kind of dead. I don't know what the plan is here from Dorsey and the Bills offense, but I do know the plan by the Giants was on point, because you're underneath with McKinney, and then as we've seen in prior weeks, Knox is chip releasing and getting out to the flats. So McKinney releasing Diggs to Banks and then getting his eyes on the check down and choking that route away, taking that away. Where's Josh supposed to go with the ball? So I don't know what the plan on offense was. I just know the plan on defense was on point, and that's what led to this incompletion. So to start off the next drive, James Cook rips off 2 runs of 14 yards, follows it up with a 3-yard run, And on 2nd and 7, the Bills target Diggs once again, but Bobby Okereke is there to make the play. Here's another one of Diggs' 16 targets on the day. One of the 5 off of play action, easily broken up by Bobby Okereke. Bills running 12 personnel, making it look like their duo run. Okereke does a great job of identifying Diggs running that in-breaking route and using his long arms to get a piece of that ball. He's got a 34.5-inch arm length on that frame. Very, very good defender. A guy I really liked for the Bills in free agency. Just a great read from Okereke on that play to break up that pass. Here he is over the middle. Watch him pretty much play this flat-footed. He's not worried about the run there. He doesn't sense like it's an actual run anyways. He doesn't bite on it. And they're trying to sneak the ball in behind McFadden right here in this window. Obviously a really nice size window. But Okereke uses those long arms to get a piece of that ball and to force incompletion. So on the next play, it's 3rd and 7, and the Bills just get shut down again by the Giants. It's another one of those coverages that they use against Diggs to kind of frustrate him. Josh extends the play and tries hitting Diggs even though he's double covered. And probably could have if it was a better throw. But I want to walk through the play design from the get-go. So you're getting a clearing route from Sherfield to the bottom. Hardy is in the slot and he's running basically like a sail route that takes forever to develop. And to the top of the screen, you're having basically like a follow concept. So you're going to have Knox running a crossing route, and then Diggs is going to set outside and come back over the middle. Typically, that's your zone beater. Typically, that's the cover 3 beater, which in this single high coverage is a possibility. But the Giants are playing man coverage here. So Bills really don't have a man coverage beater per se, but they're hoping that either Diggs is going to create separation or Hardy is going to create separation. But the issue is no one does. So everyone is covered at this point. Everyone is manned up. There's nowhere to go with the ball. Diggs is double covered. They have essentially an in-out on him with Banks and McKinney. He's double covered. Josh sees it, steps up, tries playing outside the structure of the play, and it goes incomplete. So design was so-so, and separation from the Bills' targets and wide receivers was terrible. There was just nothing there for Josh Allen on this play on 3rd and 7. This is a nice call from the defense. This is a defensive win. On the snap, you're going to see Simmons become the spy player. So Josh kind of has to hang in the pocket and make a play from the pocket. Diggs gets a little separation, but Josh is not able to hit him. This is just tough offense. You can't sustain drives with this type of offense. Consistently rolling through Stefon Diggs with no one schemed open. It's Diggs or nothing on a lot of these plays against the Giants. So after that 3rd down miss, the Bills miss a field goal. They take possession of the ball just under 5 minutes later in the 2nd quarter. Damian Harris just converted a 3rd and 1. Unfortunately, he got injured on the play, so there was some stoppage. This is the very next play. It's a 1st and 10 situation. Bills are in 11 personnel. They ID the coverage as being zone coverage thanks to that little motion or shift. And once again, play action. The Bills ran play action 46.9% of their snaps on offense on Sunday night. Stefon Diggs got 5 targets when the Bills ran play action. Here's an 18-yard gain. Simple split zone look. Play fake there. Josh steps up into the pocket. Mirrored comeback routes or stop or curl routes right here just inside the numbers. Against zone coverage. Nice passing window. Easy pitch and catch for Josh. It's a little low, but Diggs adjusts, gets up, and gets some yards after the catch. Here it is from the end zone angle. Play action fake. Really nice pocket. Big passing window. Easy play for the Bills to kind of flip the field here for 18 yards. Unfortunately, after that good gain, on the very next play, the Bills attack the middle of the field, and Bobby Okereke is there to tip it up to his teammate for the interception. And so now we're going to fast forward to the 3rd quarter, the first drive of the 3rd quarter, where the Bills started to get something rolling coming out of halftime. The Bills had 3 possessions in the 2nd half. They scored a touchdown twice and missed a field goal. This is part of their 17-play, 84-yard touchdown drive in the 3rd quarter, and it's the same concept we saw earlier. Mesh concept on 3rd down here. And Josh Allen forced it to Stefon Diggs once again on this play, but it results in a first down. Prior to the snap, Giants are showing pressure. They're showing cover 0 against the Bills. Bills have their mesh concept called, and I just can't stand the spacing here. Once again, I mean, look at the spacing here. 4 receivers on this mesh concept. Obviously, the 2 crossers, the sit route by Diggs, the alert type route from Shakir, swing rail route by James Cook. We broke this down earlier. I don't like the concept. I don't like the spacing and route distribution. I don't like Josh just blowing through progressions. Again, here's 1. 2's coming into his line of sight. That's Dawson Knox. He bypasses him, bypasses Gabe Davis, and he's looking to Diggs. But again, the spacing is just so bad. I don't blame him for not throwing it in this window right now. He fires it in there as soon as Davis kind of clears out. And thank God that Diggs is there to hold on to that pass. Just another one of those plays where the Bills didn't get the coverage that they wanted versus the concept. And another one of those plays where Josh kind of just blows through the progressions. Again, 1 is Cook, 2 is Knox, 3 is Davis. He's looking right at Diggs. He basically fast forwards to Diggs, forces it in there. But luckily, the Bills are able to move the chains. The Bills finished that drive with a touchdown pass from Josh Allen to Deontay Hardy on a well-schemed play that they used to run with Isaiah McKenzie over the years, specifically when McKenzie was paired up with Brian Dable in Buffalo. And they usually would run it in the red zone or low red zone against man coverage so that as the wide receiver motions in behind Josh Allen on that fake orbit reverse and pops back out to the boundary, the defender gets lost in traffic, and usually, if in man coverage, it should be an easy pitch and catch for a quarterback and wide receiver. In the next scoring drive, the Bills face a 2nd and 5 situation. They have 11 personnel in the game. Josh is under center, avoids the pass rusher, and finds Diggs over the middle. Great work by Diggs here to uncover. So top of the screen, deep post by Hardy. Knox appears to be running a deep over route. And Diggs' route is kind of unknown here, but my guess is he's running a deep dig route to the middle of the field here. But because of the coverage of the Giants, this safety hits the deep half. Diggs sees that soft spot, so he sits. And then at this moment, when he gets to the top of that route, he realizes that Josh is avoiding that pressure and then getting out of the pocket. So now he's looking to uncover and find some green underneath. As Josh rolls to his right, Jihad Ward comes downhill. Diggs replaces him and uncovers for the 14-yard gain. This is once again just really good defense from the Giants. They get a free rusher essentially right at Josh Allen off of play action. So Josh is under center. He's got to execute that play fake. Cook calls off the play fake because of the rusher, Micah McFadden. And McFadden's a pretty good pass rusher. He makes James Cook whiff on this play. But Josh Allen is on top of it. His eyes are downfield, but he picks up the rusher late. And I will credit Cook here because even though he lost initially, he stays with the play, rides McFadden out of the play, and then Josh is able to escape from that pass rusher, get out the front of the pocket, and then this is where he's at his most dangerous self. Wide open to Stefon Diggs. Does a great job of reacquiring his target down the field for the big play. So after a 5-yard run from James Cook on first down, the Bills now see a 2nd and 5 play. They come back to a similar type concept you saw earlier where they swung it to Diggs and he only got, I think, 1 yard on the play against Bobby Okereke. Now this is a better read. This is a much better read. Diggs comes across the formation. No one widens out with him. The edge rusher doesn't peel out with him and the linebacker doesn't peel out with him. That means the Bills have a hat on a hat outside. And now it's blocked up perfectly. You have the leverage. You have the numbers. Diggs gets upfield. He gets a first down on a 5-yard gain here. This is, again, a run with a pass tag. There's a run called here. But because of the leverage outside, they throw it to Diggs instead of handing it off here. And this was the proper call and decision by Josh Allen on this play. Several plays later, the Bills face a 3rd and 2 situation. They send out 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Those guys are to the top of the screen. Wide receiver to the bottom is Gabriel Davis. He's running the deep corner route. And Diggs is on the option route. So as he exits the backfield, he can do several things. He can run up here, run an in-breaking route. He can curl it up. He can run an angle or a Texas route to the middle or just break it out to the boundary. So this is Ken Dorsey putting his playmaker in a position to make a play. This is him scheming the play for his playmaker, for one of his players. It's something he needs to do better for the other supporting cast. Guys that are on the Bills offense that have a lot of talent. Watch on this play as Diggs gets upfield and the linebacker drops and the corner drops. He sits right at the sticks, balls on him, and he gets the first down. The Bills have done this play with Diggs in the backfield several times this year. One time they had Diggs run the angle route or Texas route over the middle against the Commanders. One time they had him run the out-breaking route against the Raiders because the corner was off and soft and the boundary was wide open. This is creating plays and scheming plays for your players. And Dorsey showed in this game that he can scheme up plays for Diggs, but he's got to do a better job of scheming plays and diagramming and designing plays for the supporting cast of the Buffalo Bills because they have talent. He just has to figure ways to get them the ball. And that's going to be even more important as the season progresses. We're already seeing teams double and triple team Stefon Diggs and Josh not having anywhere to go with the ball. It's up to this staff to scheme up better layups and easy button plays for guys outside of Stefon Diggs, outside of one of the best wide receivers in the league. I would hope that he has a better plan than a speed out route off of motion to Dawson Knox here. And then after that read, where else is he supposed to go with the ball? Too often, Dorsey is scheming to beat the coverage, which is great. But beyond your first or second read here, like you see on this play, well, if Josh doesn't go to that, who's number 3? Who's coming into his line of sight? Who's the next read in this progression? There's no one yet. And so now Josh has to play above and beyond the scheme. And luckily he does on this play to Quentin Morris for the touchdown. But too often, Josh Allen's hitting those dead ends and having nowhere to go with the ball. I'm Eric Turner, owner of Cover One, host of the Film Room every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. If you like that breakdown, smash that like button, leave us a comment, let us know what your thoughts are on the Bills offense and why they've struggled the past 2 weeks. Until our next film breakdown, go Bills.